Let's go suffer.
The Lower Leatherwood Creek Trail in the Ozark National Forest is an out and back that begins in the Leatherwood Wilderness and crosses over into the Lower Buffalo Wilderness and peaks at Leatherwood Shoals, and then turns back and starts at the beginning. This trail is unmaintained. It's forged by equestrians and hikers, and it's usually only discernible based on the frequency that these trails are traveled. It begins off of Brush Creek Road. There's a sign here for the Leatherwood Wilderness, and there's parking that serves as the trailhead. And the trail begins here and basically comes along this way, skirts along this bluff, goes under that knob, around this bluff to that knob, and then kind of winds down this way, following that line, back up, and then has some switchbacks here, going down to this creek, which is not the Leatherwood we thought it was. And then it swoops down and comes back and basically follows the Leatherwood Creek with some crossings, several crossings actually, and then puts out about here on this side of the creek. And here is where we camped, which was the whole point of this hike. This was what I was looking forward to most about this hike, was getting to camp alone on my beloved river. I have come to love the Buffalo River, and we had floated this not long before, and we were about 2 days without seeing anyone, and it was beautiful and wild and secluded, and we thought this would be a wonderful place to hike to and camp. And when we got there, we came out about here. As soon as we stepped out of the woods and onto this gravel bar, there was a couple right there camped. They had canoed in. Their camp was all set up, fire going, and the man was fishing. And for two reasons, we were disappointed. One, we thought we were going to have this beach all to ourselves. And two, we did not want to disturb them. They most likely felt the same. It was beautiful there. They thought some remote camping would be lovely, so we didn't want to disrupt their privacy. We talked to them across the river for a moment and let them know we were hiking in and we were going to try to pick a spot. It ended up being softest there, sand that we could actually camp on, and gentler gravel over here was just really thick, chunky rocks that we could not camp on. So there was some brushy trees that we were able to kind of get behind, so they had their privacy and we had ours. So they were packed up and gone pretty early the next morning, but that day, several more floaters came through, and our private beach dream was crushed. And that's okay, because the experience was wonderful. The river was beautiful. The trail was great. It was hard, but it was great. And that was just so funny that my whole thing was I wanted to camp alone down there, and it was not that, but that's okay. Next morning we get up and we turn back and start heading back, but with all the options of footpaths and trails, we ended up not really seeing hours that we needed to be on very well. And so just being tired, we went ahead and camped somewhere in this area. It was dark, and so we just camped until we could get some sleep and wake up fresh and get back out in our right minds and, not do anything stupid. So back up and reversed everything, came back out into the truck and back to home. And it was a gut buster. We were whipped, but it was wonderful. And I'll do it again, not anytime soon, but I'll do it again sometime. Probably stick to maintained trails now for a little bit. But thank you, Leatherwood. That was fun. Okay, it's late at night, but we decided we're doing it, so we're tech savvy here at Wild and Well, so here we go. Powering up once again. Okay, it's 11 o'clock at night. We just decided about an hour ago that we are going to attempt Leatherwood in the morning just for an overnight. So here we are. Yay. Okay, she's all packed out at 38.5 pounds. Probably excessive for an overnight, but we got fun stuff in there, so it's okay. And it's not that long. Woohoo! There we go. Hello, Leatherwood. We're back. Yay, we're back. But my pack is really, really heavy. Feels good to be back. Hopefully it doesn't beat us again. We have an advantage. We slept really well, we ate really well. Our packs are really organized. We're feeling pretty good. And we got to park at the trailhead, so yay. Here we go.
Today it's clearing his head. And it's got round eyes. But I'm not going to agitate him, try to get him striked or nothing.
Yeah, no.
But yeah. Alright, see now how he goes back down and how his head is oval shaped?
That's wild, yeah.
Right. A copperhead is venomous and has the, you know what I mean, a triangular shaped head. You know what I'm talking about?
Short water break. Water out, water in. We're about to start our descent. Where have we been? Where we're going. Oh boy. I'm nervous about that descent. Ooh. The wind sounds so pretty. Wow, this is great. Okay, get bugs off of there. Ooh, that is down. Oh, okay. Okay. We have a bench, he says. Go to the bench. Okay. Doing some recon. Check it out for me. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Ooh, it's moss covered too. A little cushion for the tushy. Cushy for the tushy. Oh, okay. See, is it gonna come off on my pants? Oh well, if it does. I sat down here at this bench and then I was just looking at my feet, relaxing, kind of stretching my neck, and then lo and behold, I started looking up and looking up and around. And bluff is this is a neat little spot. And then, so I was looking around, then I looked up and oh, it's so pretty. I love looking at trees from this angle. I've taken lots of pictures over the years. When I was really into photography, I took a lot of pictures from the base of the tree trunk looking up. Ooh, there's the sun. Feels great. We're working up a sweat, but it just feels so great. My situation is a little less glorious. I feel really good. My feet are hanging on, my muscles are hanging on, my emotions are hanging on. But yeah, I'm sweaty and looking a special kind of cute. That's what I'll say. This has been great. So the initial steep down that really had me torn up last time wasn't hardly anything at all. So from what I understand from the topo maps is that we have that amount of steepness that we just went through, but the length of it is 5 or 6 times what we just did. So hopefully, the scariest part is my footing and the pack. If I wobble a little, the pack pulls me. So, and we packed way too much for an overnight, but we since it is just an overnight and it's not a long distance, we took extra luxury things and so that we could just enjoy our time. So hopefully we get down there early and we just get to spend some time together on the river. So that's what our plan is just get down there and enjoy it. This may be one of a couple summer send-offs for us, but I'm really glad we got to come back and do this because we were just tore up in our heads about having to bail on this. This is the spot here where I'm resting. This is the spot where we had to drop our packs and hike back out. So I can't, but that bluff. That's cool. That's cool. This is really great. This area, there's not some of the dramatic scenery like some places in Montana or Colorado or even out in California, some of the dramatic scenery, but it's subtle, but it speaks to my heart. It's so, the dramatic sections are kind of a melodrama. They're just a chiller drama. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's what's going on. It's not dramatic like the Rocky Mountains. It's not like the Smokies or other parts of the Appalachians. It's just a calmer drama. Okay, I have a better rest spot here. This is nice. Ooh, that's high. There's caves in there. Oh, let's see over here. Oh, the briars are getting me. Not today. But then like back up in the air, look at that. It's kind of neat. Dragonflies. Whew. It is glorious up here. Wow. Spin you around. Bluffs behind. Down into the creek. Oh. Yeah. Flies. And flies. Oh yes, and flies. And flies. And more flies. And flies. And flies. And gnats. And they love the eyes. Checking it out. Whistle for it like you were before, babe.
Okay, let me see that so I can do a flash.
Whistle for it like you were before, babe.
Hey, Jill.
Yes, dearest.
Turn around and look pretty.
The grooves in this rock. It's kind of cool.
All right, now I'm gonna sit
Another
down and
one.
take a little burn off them legs. Woo.
Potential shelter from a storm up there. Ooh. That looks so neat. Look at all the layers in there. That's kind of cool. Yeah, it's a shelter for us, but it's also a shelter for all these other critters. So there's that. A little peekaboo vista here. We're heading right down in there. Yeah. We left our rest spot. Here we go. So we're hiking around the end of this bluff here, and there's just so much. It's like castle ruins the way that it is. Whoa. And we're coming up to that. I know, isn't that neat? Wow. Ooh, stand next to that tree. Yeah, that's so we don't see them. that big often around here.
No, it's some sugar.
And then that with a crack on it. It's like it's barely hanging on.
Okay. See it hanging down there?
Oh, wow, yeah.
See it hanging there and there. And here it's all dried. See in there?
Yeah.
All that's flammable.
Here, hold this and get me next to the tree.
What's that?
Hold it, it's just video.
That's a big old tree.
It is a big old tree. Thanks.
Okay, you get around that tree and quit looking at the tree, you're gonna see some views.
Wow, it's down there. Oh, so I'm a little nervous. Our trail goes right through there, right? And then it just like drops off. You got a little peephole. That is so cool. Aw, that's neat. Wow, we're up so high. We're hiking so long, and then just looking at my feet, and then all of a sudden look around and whew. So we may be finally upon Leatherwood Creek. Yeah, I think that's the creek. Whew. Not a moment too soon, because I was ready for it. I say that, but I have no idea what it's going to be like hiking along it. Okay, let's watch what we're doing. This is the Leatherwood Creek. Some water. So, it's got some water, so we know we're not going thirsty. So it's got some water, so we know we're not going thirsty. Because we weren't sure how much would be here. Here's our first creek crossing. Let's see how Sean navigates it, and then I'll follow his lead. Great. It's another creek crossing. It's dry.
Water and boil it.
So there's lots of little offshoots off the main trail. So it's hard to tell which one we're supposed to be on. And we passed where we were supposed to cross this creek. So now we're walking up the creek to get back to where we should be. Here we go. So far, our shoes are dry. This is the third creek crossing, and boots are dry. So that's nice. Yeah, I don't know what's happening in there, but so there it is on that side. And here it is on this side. But oh well. We continue. This is 3. I think there's 8 altogether. Here is creek crossing 4. This one has a little more water, so a little more effort involved here. And I don't see where the trail goes off into. It is rest time. This is the 4th creek crossing, the other side of it. I think we have 4 more if the trail guide is right. But we're tired. The fun is gone. It's just pain now. But it sure is pretty. Ooh. Yeah, I got to the point where we were like, the fun meter is gone. It's back to not so much fun. Thinking, maybe you should have taken the L on that one, taken the loss. But no, I'm glad. I think we both will be glad, especially once we get into the river. It promises to be nice and lovely. I hope that's true, but the The fact that we have to climb out of here is ever looming in the back of my head, but we'll just enjoy this while we can, while we're here, and we'll get to that when we get to it. I think I figured out, if ever I'm able to take a break and lay on my tummy and stretch my back and get weight off my feet, it feels so lovely. It does way more on the respite than just sitting alone, so oh, it feels so good. Sean found him a little bench. Okay, so this is Creek Crossing 5. It looks like still we're going to be able to keep our boots dry, hopefully. Not bad at all. Oh, that's pretty down that way. Creek Crossing number 6. And looks like we may get to keep dry boots again. Yay. Okay, Creek Crossing number 7. And we are feeling a bit over this right now. Okay, Creek Crossing 8. Over some bunch of wonky rocks. And I don't even see where the trail continues. Creek Crossing 9 of 8 that there was only supposed to be. Yeah, we are a little bit cantankerous right now. The mileage is much longer than what the app said, and now we're having more creek crossings than we thought. And Creek Crossing 10. But dry boots, so good thing. Can't see, neither can I. I can a little bit. Potatoes by moonlight. Now that the crying's done, I can eat. Yeah, that was way more than what we thought it was going to be. We got here pretty beat up. We just had to lay out for a minute and collect ourselves, and Sean's been trying to run around and do stuff, and I had a good long crying spell, and now I'm coming back around. And we're eating dinner in the dark by the moonlight, by the river. When we got down here, we thought we were going to have a private gravel bar or sandbar to camp at, but it's really rough, big rocks right away, and so we had to walk farther down, and as we are coming off of the trail, we see that right across the only spot really to camp, there's a family there, and they canoed in, and so we were that was the best spot over there, but we wanted to give them their privacy, so we came down a little closer. It's still rocky and stuff, but Sean found us a good spot with smoother rocks, and we got our beds laid out, and I'm eating laying on my tummy because my feet are hurting so bad. But we have a long day tomorrow, and we may be camping another night. So, well, it didn't kill me, so hopefully I should be stronger. We'll see. I kept calling these dragonflies, but I've been corrected. They're damselflies. So I feel like I got gypped out of my time on the river after our hike. So I am back. I am back just hiking down the gravel bar here. Thought I'd kind of sum up what happened. My battery died, my phone battery died, and the battery I brought to recharge it apparently was not charged all the way. Nonetheless, it didn't charge my phone overnight, so it's gone. So our trek out of the wilderness is not recorded at all, except in my mind. But we have storm clouds looming and thunder in the background, and my beloved river here. So we planned for 2 days, a quick down to the river, a camp, a nice long camp, and a quick day back out. As per our plans, that isn't how the trip went. It was a very long, hard day one in. We were late getting to the river, nearly dark. We had a little bit of light to get our things settled, and the sun went down, but thankfully it was a full moon. The moon came out and gave us enough light to do what we needed to do, get some eating done, and kind of relax and collect ourselves. And we thought we were going to be alone. There was a couple right across from the really only place on that gravel bar that there was to camp. And we talked to them across the river for a minute and let them know we were trying to give them their privacy. But yeah, it was very hard. The creek crossings were very hard on the feet. But I have to say, the Leatherwood wilderness does not disappoint. It's so vast and secluded and hard, but also beautiful and enjoyable. And we got down in there. We didn't get to spend very much time on the river, which was the whole reason I wanted to go down that trail in particular. But we came back out. We had a drop dead time for our son that was about 24 hours longer than we thought the whole thing would take us. And we had no cell phones. Both of our cell phones battery died, and we did have a GPS with backup batteries for that, so we weren't without any help. But with all the trails and loops there, we had a difficult time finding what was our trail coming back out. And we think we got off of what was our trail going down to the river, but we wound up at the river anyway and on what we were supposed to be on. But so coming back out was a bit of a challenge, and we thought that would be the second day out, just a long second day, but we ended up having to stop. We couldn't see, with it getting dark, we couldn't see exactly what was our trail. So we just went ahead and camped to be safe. And so we camped for that night, and we dealt with, bugs weren't terrible, but the daddy longlegs were just all over our sleeping stuff, and I was constantly picking them up like a little puppy and putting them outside of my sleeping bag, my sleeping space. Sean set us up a tarp that night, and it was a great camping spot right there by the creek, and we got some okay rest there. But then the second day, so then that third day coming out, we were approaching the drop dead time for our son to call emergency services if we didn't contact him that we were out. So we had to get up and really hoof it and get to him in time, and we made it within half an hour. So a half hour before drop dead time. So that was good. In the meantime, those trails in the Leatherwood area, they're formed by equestrians and other hikers, and they loop about, and it gets real confusing. But the neat thing is we've never, all our time there in the Leatherwood, we've never seen a person or a horse. We'll see evidence of hoof prints, but this time we were taking a rest coming out and by the creek, and we're not terribly far from the river, but far enough that we shouldn't be hearing anybody. And we're resting, and I hear what I think is laughter. Could have been birds. There are some birds that sound like people once they get going, but like, I think I hear people. Okay, it must be floaters going by the river, and I'm just hearing them up creek. And no, they're getting closer, and Sean doesn't hear anything yet. Then I'm listening, and it's getting closer. Sounds like multiple people. And so we're sitting there, and I'm trying to figure it out. And there's a bend in the creek around where I'm hearing these people. And so we're just relaxing, and all of a sudden here comes 5 horses with riders around the bend coming up the creek. And that was neat, and we talked to them for about 10 minutes. Oh, these beautiful storm clouds. And so that was one of the highlights, is getting to see them coming up. And when they left, seeing how they maneuvered. There's a spot in the creek that was pretty deep, that it went up to past the horse's belly and got on the rider's legs. But it was neat to sit and chat with them. They had asked if we wanted to rent a horse, and at that point we were both so whipped that it was very tempting to take them up on that offer. But alas, we were not going to let Leatherwood beat us, so we hiked out of there. I started getting very wonky. My legs did not have it in me very much anymore. And there was a point that we were getting so close to the trailhead, and we were approaching this section that's about 35% grade for a big chunk of time. And we were starting to see that I didn't really have it in me to make that. And by the time that we needed to get to our son, so Sean, smelling the barn, as he says, he packed his pack up that section, dropped his pack, came back down to me, letting me rest where he left me, kind of recuperate a little bit. And then he packed my pack up to that spot, and I was able to keep up right behind him since I had that rest, and since he took my pack for that little section. I say little section, it was a significant section, but he was there, he was up there and back so fast. I was impressed. So that allowed us to finish and get back. Water was great. We took a filtering pump this time, and we were able to pump water from the creek and the river, and it tasted great. But we're both so excited. We were tore up after having felt defeated the first time we attempted that Leatherwood Creek trail. So we were both feeling so grateful that we got to go back. Got to go back and do it, and successfully and with good spirits. But it is a gut-busting trail, and we'll do it again, but probably not soon. We'll get in some better shape. We're both not as fit as we were a few months ago, several months ago. So definitely excited to do it again. Anything to hike, and anything to camp, and anything to do some hard work to get to come experience my Buffalo River. I just can't get enough of it lately, especially after that first float. Looking forward to many, many more. So that's the trip. I always learn something with every trip that we've taken, and this trip is similar to the float trip that we did, in that the very last night, the second night, right before our very last day, I felt defeated and physically felt like there was no way that anything was going to happen. I was foreseeing the very hard day coming up and just almost kind of giving up, but then something kicks in, and I didn't. And though with both the float trip and this hiking trip, though that last day was indeed the hardest, it was the best day. It was the day where everything just fell into place. Every hard thing that we came upon, there was a solution. Every time we struggled to find where we were supposed to be, we found it within a few minutes. And actually, we ended up finding the trail we were supposed to be on, the footpath we were supposed to be on. My boot print has my hiking boots have an arrowhead in the logo, and Sean saw that. He was looking around for evidence of where we were supposed to be, and it was my boot print that he saw, and that confirmed for us that we were in fact where we were supposed to be. And that set the tone for the third day, getting us out of there. So it was great. I recommend it to anybody wanting something hard but doable. It was really hard. The terrain was just, I mean, it says moderate, and that might be the case if it was just elevation gain that we were talking about, but it's wonky terrain. It's very rocky. Footing is, every foot placement is a decision to be made, and there's a lot of bushwhacking. There's a lot of overgrowth because not many. The horseback riders that we ran into, they said they actually hadn't been in there since May, so they're the ones that kind of keep it beaten down the most, I believe. But so there was a lot of bushwhacking, a lot of just constant having to make decisions with our feet. But we are so happy that that's under our belt and it didn't beat us. There's that feeling of defeat just can be overwhelming, and but so looking forward to it again. Highly recommend it, and I thank everybody for coming along and sharing with us and offering their insights. We got a lot of tips from people that had done that trail before, and not a lot of people do, so any commentary on it was welcome, because we didn't know what to expect. So here we are. Thank you, Buffalo. Here's happy hiking to all of you. Happy hiking, happy floating, happy camping. Happy any time that you can get outside and just sort of soak it all in and step away from the turmoil and burdens of the world and kind of refresh and recharge so that we can get back to it and respond well. So I wish you well. I wish you wild and well. The arrowhead in my boot print, similar to what Sean found.